And I believe collectively as a group, we're going to kick the competition's butt because we understand how important it is to think, execute, and dominate. Rule number one, peak performers always have a clear vision.
The reason I love Walter Bond's speech so much is because his enthusiasm was so infectious. I mean, sales is a transfer of emotion, a transfer of energy, and that's what we really felt from his presentation.
He's a fantastic speaker. We've had big audiences and small audiences. He's done an 11-city tour over 2 weeks, and what he was really able to do was connect with the client.
Thank you, Walter Bond. You are amazing, and I'm waiting in line to get your book and your CD signed, so I'm super excited to be here.
He was probably just the best motivational speaker I've ever heard before. He was really cool.
I have a tremendous amount of respect because he did what business owners do. He didn't get this thing kind of handed to him. Walter Bond is teaching you how to build a business or have a great life because he started from scratch himself.
Here's my message. I've been waiting a long, long time to share. And I'm going to enjoy this one. Suck it up! Get tough. Suck it up. Get tough. People want to have success. People want to make a lot of money, but they want it to be easy without any challenges. Do you think it was easy for me to become one of the top 450 basketball players in the world that you never heard of? The only way I made it to the NBA is I was fundamentally sound, I was mentally tough, and I never quit. And even when I wanted to quit, I had people in my life that would make sure I didn't quit. Some of you get it. Some of you don't. But I want you all to get it. Here's the number one question that your customers ask themselves when they leave your store, when they leave your restaurant, when they leave Golden Corral on their way home. Well, what did we think? Did we like them? Always very first question. These coaches would leave our house. Michigan, Minnesota, UCLA, Arizona State. They would leave our house, and the very first question as a family, well, what did we think of Michigan? What did we think of Wisconsin? What did we think of UCLA? What did we think? If the answer was, what does that really mean? Next. If a family leaves Golden Corral, when they get in their car, hey guys, what did we think? What does that really mean? What you want them to say every time they get in that car as they drive away, oh my God, that was awesome. Oh my God, that was unbelievable. Oh my God, that was amazing. Because they're going to ask, consciously and subconsciously, every time they leave your restaurant. What I'm going to teach you today came directly from that meeting. It was like a 2-minute soundbite. I go to Jerry Sloan and I say, Jerry, I'm trying to make your team, but since we don't scrimmage, I feel like I can't show you what I can do. Golden Corral, hear me clearly. Listen to his answer, and it will unlock some mysteries as to how you become the best in the world at what you do over a long period of time. Jerry, I'm trying to make your team, but I feel like I can't show you what I can do. He says, Walter, I already know what you can do, but if you want to make my team, I suggest you listen, follow directions, and execute. That's different. Listen, follow directions, and execute. What I didn't realize, even though we didn't scrimmage in practice, throughout practice, we did drills, and he created what I call habits and rituals. Every single day, practice was the same. Every single day, we drilled on fundamentals. Every single day, we worked on habits and rituals. So even though my mind was floating, even though I was selfish and self-centered, he was conditioning me into the culture through practice of habits and rituals. The reason why I tripled my NBA income in 3 years is because of habits and rituals. Next year, if your name didn't get called to come across the stage, I'm here to tell you they will call your name next year if you go back home and execute habits and rituals. I wanted to scrimmage, for me. But Jerry Sloan was getting me ready to play for the Utah Jazz. So every day it was about habits and rituals. Having hot food is about habits and rituals. Great customer service is about habits and rituals. Being the best in the world at what you do, being a pro, is all about habits and rituals.
This individual is a business expert, and he's as highly sought after professional speaker as there is. And he's the founder of the Bond Group.
Raise your hand if you played records in high school. 33s, 45s, 78s. Raise both hands if you had an 8-track tape player in high school. That's a couple of you guys with that silver hair. I see you in the back. You cranked your music in high school. But I'm gonna leave you alone today.
Walter Bond played professional basketball for NBA teams such as the Utah Jazz, Detroit Pistons, and the Dallas Mavericks. And as a highly acclaimed international speaker and entrepreneur, Walter delivers more than 100 life-changing keynotes and seminars each year.
The likability factor is the best kept secret in business. People want to buy from people they like. When Coach Haskins left my home, he was likable and it was a done deal.
And I tell you what, Jonas, transitioning out of sports is tough for anybody. Your whole life is sold out to the sport. And then one day it's taken away, and now you got to figure out the next plan, and you hadn't had time to make a plan because it takes such a commitment to play pro sports.
This is giving you the business. Our first actor is on a serious mission.
All right, guys, let's send her. Let's send her.
He has done an incredible job connecting with the audience and just delivering a message that I think that is so powerful that the clients can take back to their practices and implement.
Any cliche that makes reference to fellowship never makes reference to age. Birds of a feather flock together.
The Dwyer Group of Companies has now celebrated 33 annual franchise reunions. And never in the history of those 33 years have our franchisees begged us to have the same keynote speaker back to back. Walter Bond is the first speaker we've had 2 years in a row, and the franchisees are still talking about him today. Not only did he help improve their businesses, but he's helped improve their personal lives. If you're looking for a great keynote speaker, I'd highly recommend Walter Bond. He'll wow you, he'll make you laugh, he'll make you cry, and he'll make you want to have him back.
I hired and set out the top 10 motivational speakers, watched all their videos, and I watched them one by one because I understand that if I pay attention to what the best are doing, I could be the best too. I watched game film on Michael Jordan. No matter how much I watched, I couldn't do what Michael Jordan could do. I would watch Magic Johnson. I couldn't do what Magic Johnson would do, but I sat there and had these videos. I watched Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins. My wife was scared. I was scared. I called her to my office, and I said what husbands say. I said, babe, we're going to be okay. Every month the checking account is dwindling. I said, babe, we're going to be okay. Let's start a motivational speaking business. We're going to be okay. She said, like most wives do. How? I need detail. See, men, if you're married and your wife's engaged in the business, let her be engaged in the business because women bring something that we don't bring. In many cases, they bring detail. Oh, I got great ideas. I'm big picture, but I'm horrible with details. My wife is fabulous with details. That's why we're successful, because we work together. So I brought my wife into the office, and I said, babe, I got good news. We're not going to go broke. We're not going to be a casualty. We're not going to be like these other athletes. And she said, how? And I said, babe, I'm watching these motivational speakers. All the good ones, they got two qualities. They all have different styles, but they all have two qualities. They're very entertaining and dynamic, and they give their audience good information. If I become very entertaining and dynamic, and if I give my audience good information, I bet you we can be very, very successful in this business too. I paid attention to all the top motivational speakers. They're very inspirational and charismatic and dynamic, and they give their audience good information. For the last 13 years, I've been entertaining and dynamic and giving my audience good information. And all of a sudden, I began to win awards. Are you paying attention to what the top tilted kilt franchisees are doing? More importantly, are you paying attention to what other sports bars and establishments like yours are doing? Pay attention and respect your competition. Because if they're doing something right, there's nothing wrong with you learning and doing it right too. I got recruited coast to coast, and that's how I learned how to sell. The doorbell would ring. These coaches would come into my living room. They always traveled in a pack of 3. They always wore university-issued golf shirts. They always had a brochure, and they put the brochure on the coffee table. There were always 4 students on the brochure, 2 white, 1 Asian, and 1 African-American every single time. And sometimes they would substitute the Asian for a Latino. And as I collected more brochures, I began to recognize some of the same kids on different schools' brochures. And then I realized, you know what? Oh my God, these aren't students, these are models, and this is big business. Your industry is big business. And whenever you have big business, it's very competitive. But in basketball, if you win by 1, you still win. If you win by 1, you still win. So when you want to compete at a high level in a very competitive business, you better pay attention to every little detail. Sometimes in franchise systems, when the leader talks about what we need to do, some of you sit there and say, oh, we don't need to do that. I'm not doing that. It doesn't take all that. It don't need to do that. I don't take all that. Some of you guys right now in the opening keynote had that thought going to your mind. Oh, I'm not doing that. I don't need new plates. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. You already made up your mind not to do it. Let me tell you something. I learned a very valuable lesson when I played for the Utah Jazz. I had a point guard on my team who's arguably the best point guard in the history of the NBA. His name is John Stockton. John Stockton would go to a chiropractor 4 times a day on game day. You know what I said to myself? I'm not doing that. It doesn't take all that. John Stockton played 19 years in the NBA. I played 3. You would have thought I'd have been smart enough to watch a Hall of Famer and just shut my mouth, hop in the car, and go with them. No. My mind said, yeah, it doesn't take all that. And I would tease him. Man, John Stockton, you OCD or something? Why are you going to a chiropractor 4 times a day? He swore by his chiropractor. That man played point guard in the NBA until he was 40 years old. And he didn't retire because he got slow. He retired because he refused to wear baggy shorts. He loved his Daisy Dukes. Every day on game day, that man would go to a chiropractor 4 times a day. And in my immature basketball mind, I would say, it doesn't take all that. I don't need to do all that. I'm an award-winning motivational speaker because now I pay attention to details. Another peak performance truth. Peak performers are detail-oriented. When I was an immature basketball player, I didn't get that concept. I had another teammate named Karl Malone, who arguably had the best body in the history of the NBA. I would go to restaurants with him, and he annoyed me. I couldn't even imagine what the waitress felt like. He annoyed me. Now, he had the best body of all time in the NBA, but he annoyed me at restaurants. He would order grilled chicken Caesar salads, and he would ask the waitress, when you grill my chicken Caesar salad, could you make sure there's no char marks on my chicken breast? You want her to levitate the chicken over the grill? I mean, what do you want her to? Very picky, very meticulous. Will Walter Charmarks have carcinogens? Carcinogens create cancer. I want the chicken breast, but I don't want the cancer. Another time he ordered a chicken salad. This man was 6'9", 256 pounds. He always ate salads, and I rarely saw him clear his plate. Had the best body of all time in the NBA. He ordered a chicken salad one time. It came with hard-boiled eggs. The salad came out. Before the salad came out, he says, I don't want hard-boiled eggs. They're high in cholesterol. And we're in Salt Lake City. They all know who we are. We're the only brothers in town. Well, Mr. Malone, the salads are pre-made, and the egg is crumbled over the salad. Well, would you mind picking it out for me? He annoyed me. I would go behind his back. I would apologize to the waitress and give her an extra tip. Me, I ate whatever they brought me. French fries, cool. Gravy, cool. This the wrong order. I'll keep this and I'll eat the other food you bring out too. He annoyed me when he ordered food because I thought he was difficult. Karl Malone played 20 years in the NBA. I played 3. Great people pay attention to detail. So at this conference, don't you dare let your mind say, oh, I'm not doing that. It doesn't take all that. I'm not doing that. It doesn't take all that. You'll be average the rest of your life. Great people pay attention to every single little detail. I used to think that way. It doesn't take all that. But you know what? In my basketball career, I played 3 years when I should have had a longer career because I did not pay attention to detail. Peak performers understand that detail matter. Peak performers understand that that's how you kick the competition's butt. Detail. When you win by one, sometimes the smallest little detail matters. That financial service firm that booked me to do 30 events, do you think I'm the only speaker they vetted? I found out later they chose me out of 4 other speakers. When I saw the name on that list, I was like, whoa, you chose me out of this list? Whoa. And if I keep winning these battles over the course of my career, what's going to happen to my revenue at the bottom line? I don't know why they picked me. Maybe it was because of my smile. I don't know why they picked me, and I don't care. All I know, they picked me. Those 4 guys leaving the golf course, looking for somewhere to go have a couple of beers. They're going to throw some names out in that car ride. Are you hearing what I'm saying? My father said, go out, have a good time, play with your friends, but don't let the street lights beat you home. All of a sudden, we had another voice competing with our father's voice. I'm happy to announce my daddy was undefeated. I say that because you have children, you have grandchildren. Here's my rhetorical question for you. Can they hear your voice? I could always hear my daddy's voice. I don't care where I was. I could be on a school bus. I could be in the lunchroom. I could be on the playground. I could be somewhere I shouldn't be. But I could always hear my daddy's voice. My daddy could protect me on the streets of Chicago when he was not even there. You have children. You have grandchildren. Make sure they can always hear your voice. But most importantly in business, whose voice are you listening to? When it comes to franchising, whose voice are you listening to? When it comes to same-day sales, whose voice are you listening to? When it comes down to hiring the right Cassie, whose voice are you listening to? When it comes down to being successful in franchising, whose voice are you listening to? My wife and I are former franchisees. That's why I'm a no-brainer to speak at franchise conferences, because every franchise system has typically 2 groups at the conference. You have the one group that buys in. And they're in the corner talking about how can we execute? How can we improve same-day sales? Wow, you're doing good, I'm doing good. Let's keep working together. What can we do to improve the brand? We're at the conference. Let's buy in. There's always another group over in the other corner. Like, yeah, man, corporate. Yeah, corporate. Corporate's always trying to sell us something. I know. They're just trying to make money. I know. All that stuff they're talking about, you gonna do it? Nope, me either. So every system, trust me, has 2 different groups at the conference. The group that buys in and the group that's rebels and don't. So here's another rhetorical question for you. What group are you with? Which conversation are you going to be a part of? The biggest mistake I ever made in my life when I franchised my wife, I went to the wrong group. The only thing I've ever failed at in my life, I hung out with the wrong group. I spent all my time, all my energy, all my resources thinking about the wrong things, doing the wrong things, being a part of the wrong group. And I learned a valuable lesson. And I knew the lesson already from sports, that champions hang with champions. Losers gravitate to losers. The first and only time in my life, I hung out with the wrong crowd. Parents always say, you know what, if I show you your friends, I'll show you your future. You guys ever heard that one? Any cliche that makes reference to fellowship never makes reference to age. Birds of a feather flock together. It doesn't say old birds and new birds. It says birds of a feather flock. Brian Tracy puts it this way, another very great motivational speaker. He says your salary will be the average of your 5 closest friends. So look to your neighbor right now and say, neighbor, this might be the last time. Now think about it. I'm a Chicago inner city kid, so picking friends was critical. The friends you picked were a matter of life and death. My daddy always taught me to hang around the right people. We always tell our kids to hang around the right people. But at this conference, are you going to hang around the right people? Are you going to gravitate to the wrong crowd? See, this system can't have a wrong crowd in it, or it will affect the system.